Thank you for joining us for another amazing episode of The Everyday Nerd, the podcast where we are just the everyday consumer who love video games and all kinds of nerdom. And we celebrate that fact. We are the voice that is seldom heard, but everyone should actually probably listen. I am your host, Paul, and I am here with Kat, Andy, and Gus, Silly Pants Padilla. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hiya. If Andy seems a little bit distracted tonight, it's probably because he's raiding.
He's always raiding. When is he not raiding?
I don't actually know when he's not raiding.
Weekends.
Wait, okay.
Why do we never see you on the weekend?
The time when everybody is online raiding, you're not.
That is so true.
That doesn't make sense.
No, that is true. Because
that is so true. Oh my god. I can't believe you actually use that beat, dude. Oh my god.
Okay,
Rage Quit podcast starting now.
Here's the thing, okay, alright, Andy, is I would totally play with you, but in all honesty, you play some crazy hours that I would probably never be able.
You could play right now during the podcast. Like not even North Koreans are up at the same hour you are, and they don't sleep, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
North Korea doesn't sleep. Anyway, so happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
I know, right?
St. Patrick's Day, and are you guys enjoying a beer with me right now?
I am, actually. So what I decided to have was, because I have no green beer, and I don't have any Irish beer, I decided to go with this, Hispanic beer called, let me try to pronounce it, Corona?
Oh,
Corona.
I've heard of it. I like Corona. And in fact, if you, drink enough, you might actually make it green.
Oh, there you go.
Never mind. That's just going to get way too disgusting when you think about it.
Yeah, let's
See, this is why I'm drinking water. You guys are all disgusting people.
Wow.
Okay, so, tonight we're gonna talk more about video games, cause that's kind of what we do. Everybody here tends to love video games. We have an entire spectrum of those who enjoy a good game, from Kat, who's an Xbox One person, all the way to Gus, who is the PS4 kind of guy, and we have Andy, who is in fact a PC kind of person.
You know what's kind of funny though, Paul, is we almost got Gus this weekend.
Almost.
And we didn't even have to convince him. It was just because the fact that he couldn't get it at the time.
Right.
What does that saying go? I can't even.
You know what? Let me ask you guys. Everybody out there who's listening, Gus, tell your story, okay, about your journey to Best Buy in order to get a console.
Not just Best Buy, but
why don't you tell us about your experience with that? And
No,
we'll see if anybody out there who's listening.
Yeah, I'll share my story. I think that I should share my story to the people.
I want to know if anybody else has shared this kind of experience and in fact was turned away by what you have witnessed, what you had to go through.
All right. Well, first off, I'm going to remind everybody that we're not affiliated or sponsored by anyone else. So when I badmouth something, I'm really badmouthing it.
And that's another reason why people should listen to our podcast, is simply because, other websites and podcasts are sponsored. They are bought and sold, whether it be by Microsoft or Netflix or PlayStation. It just seems like there's a bias, and that's what we're trying to accomplish here. There is a bias, totally, but each one of us have our own bias, and they're all different. And so
exactly. But if Microsoft is listening, we're not ruling anything out.
Yeah,
we're still selling our souls to Microsoft to have that opportunity arise. But back to Best Buy, it is probably the worst. The worst. Now, the only reason I feel like Best Buy is still operating is because you're kind of forced to go there. When you can't go to Walmart, you can't go to Target, there's Best Buy.
Like, I 100% agree with you, and I think everything there is overpriced. I would drive to Fry's before I would go to Best Buy.
Oh my gosh, right?
Best Buy has more fun stuff. It's like going to Mordor.
Oh, but not only that, it's like going to Mordor and Wonderland. Like Mordor and Wonderland had a baby. And then there's
evil, take your money with one seeing eye, baby.
Right, but I would give my money to Fry's. Honestly, you walk in there, you feel like you're in heaven. You walk into Best Buy, and not only do you feel like everybody in there finds themselves superior than you are, and you kind of feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to go into my iPod story. We're going to go back to my Xbox PS4 story. So, like anybody else, I don't know about you guys, but me, I like to buy things on credit. I'm not going to go and spend $600 cash, even though that might be smarter for some people. For me, that's $600 cash all at once. No. But anyways, so I go into Best Buy, the one in Mission Valley, for those of you San Diego locals, and Mission Valley was sold out. It's okay. So we go to La Mesa. La Mesa sold out, and then we got smarter and we started calling. Well, apparently, if you call Best Buy and they don't want to answer the phone, the next and closest Best Buy will answer the phone. So then you have this huge cluster of back and forths, and at some point you get really frustrated and you don't know what to do, and it's kind of like, okay, fine. Like, I just, move on. So we finally go to the one in La Jolla. Now, La Jolla had one PS4. But it pretty much came down to the same price from buying games and buying all that stuff, getting the bundle. The bundle was $800, which is still a good deal in a sense, but if I'm gonna pay for PlayStation Network, pay for the same games that, at the same price that the Xbox would offer, $100 more, I get a whole Connect. Like, why not? So, I said, well, I'll get an Xbox. So I walk out of La Jolla and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna get an Xbox with $100 more. I get a Connect. I get the exact same thing. I'm paying for the same network. Now, why am I gonna pay? Now, that's the one thing PlayStation has. Oh, we had a free network. We didn't have to pay for it. If I'm going to pay for a network, I'm going to pay the computer software company to use their network. Why am I going to pay the people who came out with the crappy televisions? I'm not for it.
See, and that was kind of my point too, is because they slipped that in there, for a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't know. Like, I've gone to GameStop and we've gone to multiple midnight, launches and stuff like that, and we've talked to people and they're like, oh, well, it was this recent one with Titanfall and Dark Souls 2 coming out. There was some people that were there for Dark Souls and some people that were there for Titanfall. And one of the guys had said that too. Like, he was just like, dude, so I bought a PlayStation 4, but I didn't know, you have to pay to play now. Nobody told me that. And right. I was like, oh, and it's so, eventually, like I said, I knew it was going to come down to that. Because they have to compete with Xbox in some way.
Well, no,
and obviously Xbox is making so much more money than Sony, and Sony almost completely lost all of their profits with the PlayStation 3 when it first came out. So it's kind of like you gotta make your money somewhere, so why not we just slip that in there?
To be honest, Sony's, their philosophy on pricing people on things is, it's not rape if you yell surprise.
That's true.
They kind of just throw these in very sneakily underneath. Like, they just raised the price of the PS4 in Canada.
You know, and
it's that's it. It's not rape if you yell surprise.
And the funny thing is Gus, my friend Brian had the most hardest time too. He even tried ordering his PS4 direct from the website, from Sony, and they were like, "Oh no, sorry."
Did the server crash?
No, yeah.
For 3 months. Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, and he finally did end up getting one, but it was what, in February, Paul? Something like that.
I'm in March. I'm not a fan of the actual, pricing that they did, but I get it. You're going to sell these products. It's going to be successful. It doesn't matter how much you put it for.
Tell us what happened.
So, long story short, now, if you guys know me, I'm not a big fan of Walmart. Nothing against Walmart. Walmart's a great store, but the clientele and some of the employees, it's not worth the nosebleed. That I get from a brain aneurysm or something. I don't know, and then there's Target. Target was kind of out of the way. So I was very excited and I told myself, I'm going to go back into Best Buy and I'm going to buy that Xbox and everything's going to go all right. I'm so excited. I walk in there and the first thing one of the guys tells me, I'm like, hi, I want to purchase an Xbox. And he's like, okay. Well, I don't know. Go talk to that guy. Really? Go talk to that guy? Oh my God. It's like, you know what?
Take a deep breath. Try to relax.
Honestly, I miss Circuit City. I miss Circuit City so much.
No,
and I'm going to throw that in there.
I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because I got a job there, and then 2 weeks later, I got a pink slip. Like,
yeah, but so did you and 50,000 other Americans.
I got hired. And I'm like, I heard the store's going to close down. They're like, no. Circuit City will never close down. 2 weeks later, they bring us in a meeting. They're like, hey guys, we're closing down. In like a month. And so I took my lunch break and never came back. I'm like, I gotta go look for a job. So yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, I still miss it. Miss it.
And that's the thing is that even me and Paul were kind of shocked, with the amount of product that Microsoft is shipping out. Like, we went to Target the other day in Mission Valley, and they had a Titanfall bundle, a couple of them.
Right.
And we were just like, that's kind of nice, like that they, have them. I mean, granted, he was like, yeah, we only got like 3 of them. We sold one, already. But GameStop was selling them left and right. There was a couple people during the midnight release premiere, that walked out with bundles, so.
Yeah, there's and that's what I kind of was thinking about the bundle. Now, if I'm not mistaken, does the Xbox not offer like some time free on their network?
3 months.
Gameplay? You get a few months,
3 months.
right?
3,
I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, okay, cool, 3 free months. You're spending almost, $600 if you're buying all that stuff. And like, okay, and then for about $80 less, when it really comes down to, you get the PlayStation 4 stuff, the same stuff, minus that game time, like 3 months, which you can I'm not sure if you can buy 3 months or if you buy 1 year, it's like $60 a year, I don't remember. My mind is really jumbled right now. So technically you're buying the system technically not that much cheaper than the Xbox One.
I don't think so either. Like, I feel like I love the Kinect. I honestly, having the Kinect, I don't think I could live without not having the Kinect.
I mean, Fruit Ninja alone, I mean, that was already like, okay, I want the Kinect.
Yeah, well, not even just that too, but like other aspects too, that I absolutely love about the Kinect. Not just the fact that I could tell it what to do, with my TV and everything, but the gameplay involved in it too. Like, I would be playing Dead Rising and I would yell at them over here, or like try to get the zombies to come towards me to like get more points or just mass murder people. Little zombies, I should say. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I mean, the same thing with when I was playing Rise. I mean, granted, Rise was a pretty short game, but it was really cool, like, getting all like freaking Romaned up and stuff, with my horde and, just yelling things at my Kinect, not yelling, but talking to it. And,
You're yelling.
yeah. Yeah. And I just can't wait, like, to see what they're gonna do, especially like with, the upcoming like, horror games and stuff like that. Oh, Dying Light's gonna be insane. So I don't know, I'm just excited about it, and I'm really hoping that, we'll see where it goes.
All right, so let's actually get into the podcast. Let's get into some things that we want to discuss. One of the things that came across my mind this week while I was oddly enough at the grocery store. I'll tell you guys all about that in just a minute, but has there ever been something that a video game has taught you? Like, you've played this game so much that you feel like you've learned something, and you tried it in real life, and it worked. Has that ever happened to any of you guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, Kat, why don't you tell us about it?
I learned from a video game that love is powerful.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Really? You just...
Way to go,
mushy.
Kat.
What were you playing? Hello Kitty Island Adventure?
That's how you
No,
be a
that's
girl.
not even true.
Way to
Like,
be the girl in our podcast.
I know.
I learned that friendship is magic. I don't...
No, but you guys all know that Mass Effect is one of my favorite games, and if there's one thing, I mean, because I've even played The Sims too. I don't yell at me or don't say anything, but I always say The Sims is like a gateway drug for girls to get them involved in gaming, because what girl doesn't want to take over the world? Just saying. You know what I mean? So if a girl doesn't play video games, men, I'm telling you right now, go buy her Sims and you will thank me. But,
Angry Birds
I'd rather
on your
not
console.
get into Sims, because then I would leave Angry Birds and then all these other, like, bejeweled, like, phone app games.
no,
Yeah.
well the Sims
Not
is
happening.
just no, the Sims is, you could do it on the computer and stuff, but no, what I learned, especially with being, Shepherd, you know what I mean, is the fact that you carry all this emotion, and to make a game, and let me tell you, that game made me cry several times. Not just with the fact of, my friendships and relationships that I built, and like, even Paul can even contest to me, like, I had to replay through Mass Effect 3 again because I was so loyal to one of the guys I had a relationship with, that the other guy, after he had died, didn't want to talk to me. And I got mad. I was like, no, this isn't happening. Like, Caden needs to love me. This is the end of it. Like, he needs to love me. And I replayed it again just because of the fact that, I was just so faithful. But I guess that's the thing about me, is that I'm just a faithful girl. I don't know. So, I guess that's the one thing that taught me, I guess.
Oh.
And Ty, you could probably even say this too, because I know you're listening, and you could probably even say too, even with The Last of Us, you cannot say that in that game with The Last of Us that you weren't trying to keep her her safe from harm, or you didn't feel for her. So
Okay, well, yeah, it's true. Always believe in love. Something that video games have taught you. That's great. Gus, what about you?
Oh, well, video games have taught me, which I'm sure we've discussed before. If you loot a dead body, you get gold.
It's true. They don't carry cash. They've got gold and weapons. Always.
Yeah, they got gold. If you loot a dead body, there's profit. There's always profit in looting a dead body. So,
and let me just preface this. Gus is on the podcast, but he is located in Southtown, San Diego. I mean, we're talking like feet away from a giant wall to Mexico.
Yeah.
And so there's plenty of dead bodies around to loot.
Wow. Too far.
Was it?
Oh, but on the bright side though, I'm never gonna run out of shoes.
So,
but there is a bright side. I'm never gonna run out of shoes or hats.
No,
that is true. That is
out of
true.
all the things that I have said ever in the history of the world, that's the one time I get, wow, that was too far.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, and it's true though, because it's like, you could totally, it is, yeah, I don't know. It's,
It had to be the two white guys in this podcast, like, give us...
Oh, bro, race.
Hey, they're gonna toss it out. I guess this podcast is no filter on.
well, think of Skyrim. No, I'm not even gonna go there.
Okay, so,
She wants to go.
alright, Andy, what's something that video games have taught you that turned out to be true?
I've learned a lot from a lot of different video games. I learned if you say you're a girl in a game, you get lots of free stuff. So if I was born a girl, life would be easier. See,
that was the funniest thing you've ever said. Besides,
all I need to do is grow boobs in a vagina. I've also learned that if you see someone like drooling and like walking towards you in like this weird like zombie-like fashion, they probably want to eat you. Learn that from Resident Evil.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I could just go on for ages, but my favorite one probably is just, if you're a girl, life's just easier. Hands down.
You know what? I'm gonna explore this for a second.
I could ask for gold, they'll carry me to like rank 1 status.
Wait, you can actually have somebody carry you?
There is an online game. Let me try to remember it.
That actually happens? You can be carried in an MMO?
Yeah. There's one MMO.
Almost anything.
Wow.
Yeah, like World of Warcraft, for example, you can get carried. But I mean like man carrying woman. Like there's this game. It's almost like World of Warcraft. And let me just try to remember it. And I used to play this one so much. But basically, you can only carry someone if they were of the opposite sex. And if you had wings. Which I thought at that time was
so
probably one of the weirder.
I would ask for Angel Wings.
That is so romantic. I mean, a giant Valkyrie flying from the sky to carry me away.
Yeah.
From the battlefield. That's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's hot. And you know what? To be honest, I don't even know if that game is still operative. But basically, it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot.
Okay. Well, I'll also pose this question out there. Anybody on the Twitter feed right now? Is there anything you've ever learned from a video game that you found to be true? Me, on the other hand, I was at the grocery store, and for those of you who don't know, which is probably all of our tens of fans, I drive a Scion hatchback. I got about a foot of trunk space.
He's got a blueberry.
A cranberry.
A cranberry, yeah.
Yeah, it's color of cranberries, so I call it the cranberry. Silly pants. And so I buy a bunch of groceries. I open up my hatch, and I'm seeing this about 1 foot of space to fit all my groceries in, and my mind automatically transfers to Gus.
Oh.
Tetris taught me how to pack. Anytime I'm packing, I think of Tetris. Like, how can I fit this in here? And the only sad part about it was the moment I got all my groceries in and they were all lined up, they all disappeared.
It's because you won the game.
I did. I won the
Your wife took the groceries for once.
Yep. So true.
Where'd all the groceries go? I was packing them like Tetris and they all disappeared. That's where all the groceries went. And for those of you who actually don't believe I went shopping, I swear I did. It says they just.
I saved the receipt. I swear.
I'll show you the receipt. Yeah, the dates crossed out, but don't believe that. They did that at the store. And so, oh my gosh, I'm still hung up on Cat. Love. Okay.
Come on! There's nothing wrong with love,
There
people.
is nothing wrong with love. Okay.
Just
There are lots of video games that don't have a love story, but let me tell you, Gears of War 3 cried my eyes out when he freaking killed himself and he mentions his wife. His dead wife, by the way.
God love. It's all there is.
God love. They don't know.
Dude, when Master Chief lost Cortana, I cried. Okay? Alright? It taught me that having a friend and love
Wasn't
is
even a
strong.
person.
Cat.
Doesn't matter.
Cat.
Like, what would you even call that? Like, man on robot, like... Oh, man, that's some kinky stuff, dude.
Cat. Don't make a girl promise you can't keep.
Oh, come on.
And that's funny because when I proposed to Kat, that's what she said to me. So, all right, well, let's do the reverse of that. What's something that a video game has taught you that it didn't work at all.
Me first. Because Gus is going to try to steal mine.
Okay, Kat.
It's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, technically it was mine first. But
No, it was mine first. I was voted down.
But before we go on, there's something I do have to say. The name of that game was Perfect World. The MMORPG Perfect World. For those of you who are really into carrying people and flying around, with someone of the opposite sex, who probably isn't someone from the opposite sex, that is the game. So you're very welcome, all of you.
Hey, Gus, caring is sharing.
That's true.
No, and to answer your question, Ty, no, I didn't just barely learn all about love. I learned about love in Zelda, okay? And Mario Brothers. Just saying.
You know what? That's true love right there.
I'm telling you, people.
Mario.
Come on. Okay, so, alright. What's something video games taught me that didn't work? Kicking chickens.
Because when you kick a chicken, they don't just fly away.
They do not. They die.
They don't make an awesome box sound, flap their wings, and fly 30 feet, and then you win gold.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Yeah, that's
completely different from chickens.
Dang you, Fable. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, kicking chickens doesn't work. Okay, Gus, what about you?
I have learned that looting dead bodies also gets you arrested.
Though you might get golden weapons, you will probably be arrested.
Yeah, you might get a really fancy new shirt that you can wear under all your armor, and some nice worn Nikes that you don't have to break in. But you do not pass go. You do not collect $200. You go straight to jail.
Yep.
But fortunately for us, our prisons are overcrowded, which means they just kick you out to loot again. There is a modern day term for that. It's called grave robbing. I don't know if you partake, Gus, but grave robbing is bad. Despite what video games tell you. Okay, Andy, what about you?
What was the question?
I'm sorry. For those of you who weren't paying attention, and rating, by the way, where are you rating right now?
Currently not rating, just chatting away on Skype. But, yeah, what was the question? What didn't work that I've tried in a video game?
Yes.
Oh man, whew, another interesting, question. I learned that, I can't actually try the whole girl thing in real life. People just look too weird. Yeah, I tried to.
Really?
I served you here before? Yeah, it's me, Andy. I'm just wearing makeup.
Oh my god. That was...
You had to bring that up, okay?
Yes,
I even grew my hair out and everything, like I'm trying to look more feminine. Maybe someone at the bar would buy me a free drink. No, it didn't work.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I was extremely disappointed in that. I was also playing Zelda and I broke a bunch of, I broke into someone's house, broke all their jars and pots, their tables, smashed up their windows, and there was money everywhere. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. I tried that at my friend's house. It didn't actually go very well. I did find a lot of loot, but...
For the first point I want to make about what you said is that you are, breaking in or quote unquote raiding houses, near the border. So there's not going to be much there other than, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm not even going to go there.
You went there again. That's like the third time you've gone there, Paul. I think my gloves are going to come off.
Well, quit setting me up with awesome jokes or points. I don't know. What if you're laughing, then it's a joke. If you're not laughing, then it's a point.
I'm not laughing.
Furious.
Oh my gosh. There's so many things.
This is why I cut myself at night. While I listen to Boulevard, why I listen to Boulevard of Broken Dreams. You're so mean to me.
And if we're going to,
you really are a 2005 woman.
If we're actually going to get into this, if we're really going to get into this, my mom is still mad about all the pots that you broke. And meanwhile,
she wants her money back.
She wants her money back. We were
no,
seriously saving up for to go to the water park this summer, and he pretty much just ruined that for us.
With your whole family?
With our whole family, we were all going to go together, and we were all going to be shirtless, except my mom.
Why don't you just, like, have someone, like, hold the hose outside and just have, like, a water park? Jeez, dude. Go in your calzones, like a normal person.
Oh my god, you just went Spanish.
Oh, Andy, you know we don't speak Spanish.
Underwear.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing that video games taught me that didn't work, was never eat found fruit. I was walking around the road one day and I found a box and I thought,
Right.
I'm hungry. I should break this box open, see if there's any food, because there's always food inside boxes in video games. I broke it open and there was a chicken, a cooked chicken, like a rotisserie chicken, and a banana. And, then I spent 3 days in the hospital, salmonella. That's a lesson that I will not soon forget. In fact, I even avoid them now in video games. If video games like, eat this fruit and you'll gain health, I'm like, no.
Well, I learned that playing Dead Rising. Because you can't just run around and grab food because, like, I've done that and then yacked up and it's like, takes off points. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I wish that would have taught me that way before.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing that I did learn from video games recently are, giant mech titans are awesome and the devil sucks. And that's gonna bring us into our next little talkie thing. First, I just want to bring up Titanfall came out this week. And I am not a first-person shooter kind of person. I am the kind of guy who likes to lock myself in a room and play hours and hours and hours of RPGs. I loved Halo. Halo was kind of my thing. You know, that was back in the day when we didn't have modes. You just made games up. You know, you got all your friends together and you played Halo 1 or Halo Combat Evolved for those who actually know the game. And there wasn't like a whole lot of games you could play because it really wasn't that intricate. But
it was just rooms. It was just different levels, different rooms that you could go into, or even then. So like even hacking, like and building like your own rooms. I remember doing that in the first Halo because there was like a lot of glitches in that game. But
I mean, one game like we play, you play pistols, nothing but pistols. Another game you play
or rockets.
Rockets. Oh my gosh, playing rockets, especially when you have like invisibility. Oh man, that was so much fun. The most tormenting one was when you played snipers and you were like 3 digital feet away from somebody and trying to snipe them.
Yeah, that was fun. Especially on Lockout.
When you're playing with your friends. And then you both get sniped by that D-bag next to you that you didn't see because you were so worried about the guy in front of you with the sniper rifle.
What game did you guys play? I always got sorted down.
Oh, that's true. Swords too.
Swords. Dude, when you played all swords, that was my game. That was what I was best at, was swords, man. When you played swords,
you would be good at that.
Yeah, I'm very good at it. Because according to Andy in our pre-podcast meeting, I have a robot dick. So, I know that just took we just continue to go down some weird turns. I know. I apologize for everybody.
I bring up the weirdness in everyone. I'm sorry.
So Titanfall, I love Titanfall.
Yeah.
I've seriously been playing it just non-stop. Whenever I have a free moment, I'm playing Titanfall. I'm cooking dinner while I'm playing Titanfall.
How do you manage that?
Yeah, I stir with my mouth. That's how I do it.
So you're not the Cheeto guy who's like getting a bag of like nacho cheese or like nacho flavored Cheetos and you're like, hey, pass the control, it's my turn.
No, I don't live at my parents' house. And so, yeah, Titanfall. Anybody else here get a chance to look at videos or play the game and have opinion on it? Because I literally can't stop. I want to play Titanfall right now.
It's a lot of fun. Every different mission is different. It's fun and I like the fact that it's very team building. You know, I like the fact that I really like the fact that Titanfall is just hours and hours. Like, it doesn't bore me, if that makes sense. Like, it's just all about fun and different aspects, and I love the game. I can't put it down either. Whenever Paul's not on it, I'll be on it. Because, unfortunately, I only have one Xbox One. Boo.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I was spoiled with having 2 Xboxes, but no.
She's taking the divorce for watch out.
I know. Taking the dog, too.
We'll have visitation rights. That's going to be in the divorce papers, and I get a monthly child support of my Xbox Live subscription fee. No, the thing I love about this game is I suck at first-person shooters, but this game makes me feel like a god.
Does it not bother anybody that Paul actually had that planned out? Like, how quickly that came out of his mouth as far as, like, video game visitations and what happens when the divorce goes down with the Xbox One? Does that not raise any flags to anyone in particular whatsoever? Because I'm just saying.
It's fine. I don't like that anyway.
I think that I think
Junior
Paul
Phoenix on there says, "Hey, Titanfall is amazing."
I think the smartest thing to have done when buying something like a Xbox One is a prenup. And
Jeez, God.
And yeah, there you go.
No, but you know,
I take the Xbox.
no,
Okay, I'll keep
but Titanfall is just one of those, like, it's one of those amazing games that when I first saw it, I was like, this game is going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. But when I played it, I was like, this game is amazing. It's more than amazing. It's so much fun. It really is.
And that's the thing is it's great for everybody. Like, people who are experienced shooter players can go on there and have a great time, but people who aren't very good feel like a god when they play. I mean, I might only kill 2 pilots the entire time, but I've killed like 35 grunts, and I feel awesome. And, oh my gosh. And then the moment you get a Titan, you feel like, it's funny because I actually timed how long I was in a Titan, and I felt like I was in it forever, but honestly, it made me a huge target, and I died in 45 seconds by the other team who had 4 Titans because our team sucked. And the whole thing about it being online, it's an online game. It doesn't bother me because I don't know about you guys, but I have never once played the Call of Duty story, the campaign.
No, he never has it. I do, but he
hasn't. So I paid $65 for a game I just play online, and not online very well. Has anybody else been in that situation? Have you guys played the Call of Duty? I know Kat has, because Kat's obsessive with achievements and stuff. But Gus, when you play Call of Duty, do you play the campaign? Hello? Gustavo Silly Pants Padilla?
Yes. Sorry about that. I was muted because I was sneezing, and you caught me at a very inopportune moment.
I am good like
to answer your question, truthfully, very truthfully, because it's who I am. Yes. I find myself playing the campaign only when I'm bored out of my mind of getting constantly killed with the when my KDR is just below 1 and I can't take it anymore and I'm tired of spawn kills.
Hold on.
Hammer time.
Is that really the only time you play the campaign? Whenever I pick up a game, 90% of the time the campaign is freaking awesome. And from
really?
And yeah.
Well, I'm not saying
how low are your standards
are actually really good if you actually sit there and listen to it.
Yeah, let's go kill these people in this country because they're different than us.
Yeah, I mean, the campaigns are really good in Call of Duty. Well, some of them are. I really liked, just to kind of, since I've played all the campaigns, I really liked the first Black Ops. I thought the campaign was really interesting and intriguing and had a really nice twist to it. When they came out with Black Ops 2, or when I was really excited to see where they were going to go with the next story, with Black Ops. And then, E3 came around and then they showed what was going on with Black Ops 2, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? And they totally turned the story like the opposite way. And granted, I still got to know like what happened to my character somewhat in the last game. I was just really disappointed because I wanted it to start off basically where it left off in Black Ops 2. Cause it was pretty much like a shocker, like, what the hell, you know? Ghost was pretty fun. I will say that it kind of had a shocking ending, but not really as shocking as Black Ops, I think. I mean, Ghost, I could see it going somewhere pretty interesting. But I mean, Modern Warfare though, the story, man, that was pretty good. I have to say, I have to give it to Modern Warfare in them staying consistent and, you know, but it's pretty much, anytime that you play a a Call of Duty game, it's pretty much the same. It's the same story, like a bad guy, same things happen. And with Black Ops, it made it a little bit more different because you were trying to figure out, like, what happened. You know, and granted, I mean, there was kind of a bad guy, but there really wasn't. It turned out to be you.
I guess that's my problem with these campaigns is I really need a bad guy. I need somebody to focus my hate on. I need someone to destroy.
And it needs to be done correctly. It needs to like build to that bad guy to actually make it feel epic.
If there was you guys, for those who have listened to us before and those who don't, you're gonna learn now, the Mass Effect games are my top like favorite games next to Knights of the Old Republic ever. I mean, I play through each of them at least every year. But that was my only gripe with Mass Effect 2 and 3 was there was nobody for me to hate. Other than the Reapers. And then Mass Effect 3, like, I really wanted Harbinger to die. I wanted to kill Harbinger so bad. And then when you didn't, that was the only, a lot of people didn't like the ending. But I didn't mind the ending. I mind that I couldn't kill Harbinger. I wanted to shoot him in his stupid freaking squid face. That's what I loved about Mass Effect 1 was I could focus all of my hatred on Saren.
Oh yeah, and that was kind of the shocker of it is when you found, when you found that, and I guess it's different. I guess because I know where we're coming from, Paul. I guess with me, like when it comes to video games and playing campaigns, is when you have a good story, because Call of Duty is always going to be about the multiplayer, regardless, And it was like my point the last time that we were talking, like. A lot of games don't need a multiplayer. Like, you don't need to have a multiplayer for Tomb Raider. You don't need to have a multiplayer with, BioShock. You don't need to have a multiplayer, like, your Halos, your Call of Duties, those are all gonna be multiplayer. You really don't need a multiplayer to make a game epic, in a sense.
And, but also, just on a side note, Mass Effect did have the greatest line, I think, ever in a video game. The whole, you live because we allow it, and you will die because we demand it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I remember when I first heard that line, I'm like, "This game is so awesome."
I mean, that was an epic point. I mean, that was an epic part, but also, what's her face when she found out that she was in the DLC in Mass Effect 2?
Which one?
Gosh, what's her name? That she was, the computer one, Paul. Come on, help me out here.
The computer one?
I'm tired. Where you go to that planet, and you meet the guy, and you beat that guy, and then she ends up taking over.
Oh, become the Lair of the Shadow Broker?
There you go, Shadow Broker. That was pretty good, too.
The whole game is just amazing. We will hold the line.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's something a video game needs more often, is a good epic speech delivered by a Solarian. You just throw that in there, and the game becomes amazing. But I guess my point is with these campaigns for these shooters, is that I need a Vader. I really do, and that's the thing about bringing it back to Titanfall. Is it didn't bother me so much. I felt just like a soldier. I wasn't the lead. I wasn't the main guy. I was a soldier in the army. I was a grunt. I was a guy out there trying to win the battle. And I love the fact that you have an opportunity to win even though your team loses. That you know, hey, you got beaten, you know, you're playing deathmatch, or, you know, in Titanfall it's called attrition. You get beaten. Here's a drop ship. Here is an evac. Get to it and don't die.
And I hate to say it, Paul, but they kind of stole that from Mass Effect 3's multiplayer.
Yeah. But okay, real quick, P Mastery 9, P Master Ty 9, aka just Ty, a Star Wars shooter.
Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront, man.
Battlefront, man. That right there was pretty much the epitome of awesome. Battlefront 2, man. Just working your way up and then getting a Jedi, getting a Sith, or, you know, Boba Fett or Vader or Obi-Wan. It was just the best feeling ever. And I'm praying that DICE doesn't,
DICE could never screw up games.
I'm just hoping that they don't Jar Jar Binks it.
No, they
don't
won't.
cast
Okay,
Droid.
Battlefield. Battlefield. That's all I need to say with DICE, okay? Battlefield is like one of the most highest multiplayer games. I mean, more so people love Battlefield more than they do Call of Duty. But in all honesty, DICE cannot screw it up. Because DICE was the one who, they can't screw it up. I know they won't screw it up because Battlefront is a game that Star Wars fans absolutely love. Like, I love that game. I loved it so much that my Santa Claus gift from Santa Claus, my Christmas gift from Santa Claus was Battlefront, dude.
Yes,
and the first time that when I got that game, I put it in and I started playing. And though I can't play online, I was like, screw it, I'll play the computer and shoot people. Doesn't matter to me.
And you know, just as long as DICE gets their servers right, we should be fine with Battlefront 3.
The thing about DICE, and I would mostly have to side with Kat on this one. However,
Woo, siding with me.
the likely, I know, right? Mrs. Love is the strongest thing in the world.
Shut up.
I mean, we all played Final Fantasy, we get it.
Is that Final Fantasy 8?
It's probably it's 1 through 26. I've lost track. It's like Saw. It's like, hey, so which Saw did this guy actually decapitate himself in? I don't know, it was 1 through 30. Somewhere in between. I think it was like 22. 22, the guy decapitated himself. But I do feel like there is a chance that there could be not only Jar Jar Binks, but it's going to cater to the wrong gamer. You know?
What, kids?
Right. Where it's going to be too...
I hope not, only because...
Because Battlefield, I mean, you're grasping the concept of Battlefield here. Now that's amazing. That game was made, you know, it's FPS. You're going for a huge lot of clientele. Now we're looking at Star Wars Battlefront, and Star Wars has done a really good job, you know, catering to the fans. However, they've also done, and I hate to do this, but let's just throw the Clone Wars in there.
The one that came free with Xbox?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and they also did some cheesy games. I mean, Star Wars Connect was a little cheesy, but...
A little.
Yeah, it was a lot cheesy. But, you know, you also have your other games, too, that they did. I mean, freaking Mallet. Huh?
Do you want to know what's cheesy?
What?
They killed the youngins.
Oh my god.
Not the youngins!
That's just because you have no soul, Andy. I mean, you really don't have a soul.
And I'll agree. You know what? I'm gonna agree with Anthony here because I know that's Anthony. What he just said. He said that they just need to pull off the game. A great game can overcome a launch and server issues. I 100% agree with you. If they pull off a good game, then they're set. And I'm pretty sure that, in all honesty, I'm pretty sure that DICE has been working on Battlefront because we know from like years ago that they were working on the next gen game. And in all honesty, I think that they've been working on this game for so long, but because of all the rights that happened with, you know, the selling to Disney and all this stuff or whatever, they had to drop a lot of projects, which really bummed me out because I was looking forward to the other Star Wars game that was supposed to come out. But then that got dropped by LucasArts because of the fact that Disney bought them out in a sense. But I honestly think that it's gonna be a good game. It has to be a good game, because if it's not, then I lose faith in everything Star Wars, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, alright, so we've talked about Titanfall, but there's another game coming out that a lot of people are excited for. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them because I don't play it. Andy. Are you there still, Andy? Or should I call you?
Yeah. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still here. Gosh, I'm like a stubby who's like seizing his like face off. Yeah, I'm getting ready for my afternoon.
For your afternoon. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. So Andy, why don't you tell us about Diablo whatever.
Reaper Souls, yeah.
Reaper Souls.
Well, I am extremely excited, like anyone else would, for a game that, you know, that they're looking forward to that's just coming out. But Diablo is coming out the 24th, so this Tuesday on midnight you'll be able to play if you get the digital, if you have the digital version. Otherwise, you can, you know, buy the box and, you know, play a few hours later than everyone else, which is, you know, lame, because who the hell does that? Like, you don't, like, God, everything's just downloaded now.
Well, let me ask you something, Andy. Is Reaper Souls like an expansion, or is it an actual new game?
It's an expansion from the first Diablo.
Diablo 3, right?
Yes, Diablo 3.
Okay. So, I guess, what is the point? Convince Kat.
Why should we play Diablo? Why should we care about Diablo?
Yeah.
Because it's the mindless, like, just like click and like, freak, what was, crap, I don't even remember. It's just like a mindless, like, you know, like, click and like mash your enemies game. I don't know. Like, I really can't convince you guys to like a game that you guys, to like a genre you guys had never tried before. You guys,
well, I guess, what is the point? I mean, cause I know with StarCraft, when they came out with the expansion, it looked really interesting because it had a point to it.
And so did the Mist of Pandaria.
You mean,
Whoa. Let's not talk.
You mean like, just like a really awesome story to it?
Right. Like, is it just like, you know, going and questing? I mean, because I know, like I said with StarCraft, you know, when they came out with the expansion, like a lot of people absolutely loved it.
Well, yeah, like Diablo has a really strong, like story to it. Like, if anyone here actually plays or cares about it, which I'm getting a lot of negative feedback from the chat right now. It's probably fucking not.
I care, Andy.
He was so excited.
Actually, like, freaking awesome. They like sit there and actually, you know, like go through it, listen to all the dialogue. It gets you really attached to the main character, and then they just go and turn her into like the main villain of the game, and then you're just like heartbroken. You're just like, ah.
Okay, so it's not going to be like a WoW with the panda, right? I didn't get that. That was stupid.
The Mist of Pandaria?
Mr. Pandaria, yeah.
Nobody got
How much did you like Mist of Pandaria?
When it first came out, you know, I was all for it. I thought it was awesome. But then when they introduced the bad guy, the like villain, it was introduced really stale like, and it was just like thrown in our face, like, here's your bad guy, go and kill him, and it's just like really, like there's no build up to this at all. And like,
by the way, the bad guy has always been the bad guy since, well, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Since the bad guy started.
The bad guy started, which was
Back in 1990.
You guys can understand it, right? Like when you get a game, like you really want to build it up to the final boss, you know, like.
Right.
You want a Vader.
Want to throw in your, yeah, like Darth Vader was the perfect villain. Like, it builds up to him. Like, you start up liking him, and then he just becomes the, like, main bad dude. And that just makes, you know, it just makes it so much better once you get there. It's like, yes,
Well, all right. Here's something that I think we all can talk about, and people in the chat, feel free to just continue to talk to us because we really love your guys' input. And Ty, Das Goosinator, wants you to have his babies or her babies. I'm not sure.
I can do that.
It sounds like a German goose terminator. It's actually a German-made goose bot that wants to have your ducklings.
Just laughing about the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Continue.
Okay. So, I was playing Flappy Bird this week, and I got probably an unbeatable score. I felt really accomplished. Yeah, I got 4. And I proceeded to delete the game. So what's a game that you've played and finished, or even if you, because Andy, I know you don't ever finish games because your games have no end. They're like friendship. A circle is round; it has no end. And that's how long I want you to be my friend.
It's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, but all right, what's a game that you've put hours and hours and hours into and completely regret it? Yeah, I said Flappy Bird, didn't I? Yeah. Flappy Bird.
Yeah, you just said Flappy Bird.
What's a game that you put hours and hours into and then just completely regretted it?
Oh, God.
And that, Flappy Bird is one of those games where it took me hours to get a score of 4 hours. And I'm like, no. I gotta get back to work. I'd rather do work right now. So, what's a game for you? Gus. We go to Gus in Cat a lot. Andy.
Well, I know what game I'm gonna bring up, but before I do, I want to say some things about general games. There's a lot of games I played that, you could say, I played for, hours on end and I would regret playing, oh man, I wasted money on this game. But if you just pick up a game and play for 10 hours, in my opinion, it's already worth it. It's already worth the $60 you spent on it. But a game I just flat out played, and then, this was a free game by the way, it's Ebony. A game I played for hours on end. I would wake up in the middle of the night so I could make sure my buildings were building at the exact time they finished. It was just, it was just a horrible game, and it was just the worst experience ever. I know my good friend Gustavo here just hated me so much for playing that game.
Oh my god, and I showed it to him.
Yeah. And he's the one that showed it to me. So there's that.
Okay.
Ebony, by far the worst game I've ever played.
What is Ebony?
Absolutely regretted.
So, if I may piggyback on this, because my game is actually not Ebony, but it's a game just like Ebony. It's an app for your phone called The Hobbit Kingdoms. Same concept. Now, what Ebony is, Ebony is this game where you're building your city, you're building your castle, you have units, it's basically almost like StarCraft, except you don't see the troops fighting, you don't get to populate your troops, you're dealing with hundreds and thousands.
Populate your own troops? That's how you get a lawsuit.
Paul, honestly, you're the reason why I drink myself to sleep every night.
I know, your Coronas?
Yeah, my Coronas. I mean, besides the fact that it's but it is a browser game, like P-Master Ty here was just saying. It's a browser-based game. Now, it has so many different ways to win, so many different ways to lose, so many different ways to get angry. But long story short, it's almost, you know what? It's like a killer version of Farmville, only your cows are sitting there beating the crap out of other people's cows. Your chickens are like they're going crazy. You fertilize this, you catch that, you make this, you send your troops here, you do all this crazy stuff, and you're just trying to. They have it based on a point system. How many troops on your enemy's side do you kill? That includes their defenses and vice versa. How much you accrue more points as your defense grows, and your defense starts defending. It's all a matter of victory. But it's all calculated. So you can actually, it's not much a game of skill. It's more, your quantity is the quality.
What game is this now?
Evony, Evony. Now, there are a lot of other games that are just like it. There are a lot of little copycats here. And you'll see them when you're online and you're browsing. And for those of you who, like me, uses Google Chrome, you see a lot of, big busted 3D women that tell you to come join and play. That's typically one of the games. You go in there and you're wasting your time. And for most people like Andy, you waste your money. So back to the Hobbit Kingdom. Now, what's worse than playing a browser game like Evony? Having one on your phone in an app that you can access at any time of the day. School doesn't get in the way, work doesn't get in the way, meals don't get in the way, women don't get in the way. Women are always in the way. But at least in this sense, you're constantly hooked into it. And you're impatient. You don't want to wait 6 minutes for that for that part of your castle to build. So you're going to spend gems. You run out of gems, but you don't want to wait 2.5 hours for your porch to build. So now you're going to buy gems. $80 later and 2 ex-girlfriends later, you realize, crap, what have I just done?
I was never that bad.
Oh, okay.
But pretty damn close to it.
There's, this actually topic has brought up some things in our chat. Dante 8969, other known as Tony, he says The Sims was a game that he regretted playing. P Mastery 9, Ty, Star Wars Galaxies, yeah, that was a complete waste of time. Yeah. So, Gus, what other than Evony was your game that completely you regretted the moment, like, you got finished?
The moment I got finished, the game I regretted, you know what? I would say, and I'm still with this, and I don't know if people agree with me, but I'm very, very serious. I really feel that all the time that I put into Super Mario 64, was probably, yes, Super Mario 64. Yeah,
someone didn't collect all the stars.
And that's why. That is why. You don't, I mean,
so bitter. It can't even be a little kid's game.
Wow. You just took it there.
Yep.
You just kind of took it and ran with it. Well, I still think it was a waste of time.
Holy shit.
And I still stand by it. I really do. Super Mario 64. And you're having fun, you're having a great time, and then you realize, oh wait, summer's over and I only have 72 stars, what's with my life? I'm just not, I'm sorry, I just don't know what else to do, you know. But if I really wanted to say one game that I felt really wasted my time was, Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls game.
Oh my gosh.
How many of you did I just make mad on purpose?
Yeah.
How many of you did I
much right now.
That was honestly, no, I love that game, but I just wanted to make you all rage. There were so many of you that just like, yeah.
I don't know if I could ever forgive you for this. I am not as strong as Tyrese in The Walking Dead. I cannot forgive you for this. Oh my god.
Cat is still quiet.
I'm not even gonna say anything
there
because
are very few things that can make me speechless in this world. That was one of them.
Oh really? How about Fable? Fable makes me poop my pants.
Fable 3 sucked. I can tell you that's true. All right, Cat.
Okay. So there are two. Yeah, there are two games. The first game that I actually didn't finish because I got so freaking mad, like really pissed off about, was Prince of Persia. Screw that game. I hate that game with all of my life. Yes. Prince, not the first one, but the one that was released on Xbox 360. was the worst freaking game ever in my life. I swear to you that I would, okay, basically think of it this way. And it's kind of funny because I love Titanfall, but at least this doesn't happen in Titanfall. Basically think of it this way, that you have objectives to go through to where you have to get to certain points. So you're running and jumping on walls and doing everything, and then you get to the very end and you fall. Instead of going back on the rock that you first landed on, you go all the way back to the very beginning.
You mean, yeah, okay.
Now, my roommate, and I wish my roommate, my old roommate, cause I lived with a bunch of guys at one point, but one of my roommates, he lived, I had one of the rooms that was across the way, and he had another room like across the whole house, like the other house.
How did he die?
But, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I was in my room with the door shut, and I was getting so frustrated that I was screaming and yelling at the TV so bad, and he thought he honestly thought he came in there first to see if I was okay, and then he was talking to his buddy, he was like, no, yeah, I guess she's just pissed off at this video game, because I literally probably played that game, I never finished it. I played it for probably a good 8 hours, and then it honestly felt like how you felt with Dark Souls, Paul. I felt like I was punishing myself for playing this game. And I was like, I'm done with it. I'm seriously just done.
Yeah, no, you need closure. You need to go back and you need to beat the game.
No.
And it all will be well.
I don't even know why I still have it on my shelf. I should have gotten rid of it years ago.
Because you simply want to beat the game.
I think that's what it is. It's like eating me alive. You need to finish this game because you need to get these achievements. Yeah, that's probably what it is. But
so then that's just like me in Super Mario 64.
You still have it?
Want all this? Of course, I still have it. What?
Both of you must get together and finish what you started.
I don't think I ever can.
There's the guy who plays the endless video game.
Wait, I'm still playing this.
You said
trying
that
to
there
finish
was
them.
2.
It can happen.
What was the other one?
But I will say that the one game that I completely wasted my time and absolutely hated, and I loved this series, was Fear. Not the first one, but Fear 3. The first game was amazing. The Fear Files got even better. But when it got to Project Origins, and then Project Origins was okay, but the story was taking a weird twist. But when Fear 3 finally came out, I was like, this game is the worst freaking game. It was the worst ending to one of the best horror games before Dead Space and all those other games came out. But I was always about the horror games. I loved Resident Evil. I loved all those games. And when Fear came out, it was the first game that got me scared. I was completely scared. And it had a great concept, but because they, I guess you could say Sierra, booted out of making the game and went over, I guess, Warner Brothers got a hold of it, that it went bad.
Man of Steel.
But, and that's the thing is don't get me wrong, I love the Batman games like that, I do, but it's when Warner Brothers gets a hold of games, they tend to screw them up. So I try very hard when Warner Brothers has a lot of money, and you would think that they would make games great, but because I can't even go on about it. It's just so bad. It really is.
Well,
the story was just so bad. It was just, oh God, it was horrible.
There were a couple of games.
She's aching at it, so it must be horrible.
There are a couple games that I played that I there's some games that I only played, a couple of hours of, and I'm like, no, this is not happening. And other games that I put so much time in, and that by the point I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, I had to finish. One of those, one of those was, I hate to say this, Dark Souls. That game, you must really like punishment. You must frequently visit dungeons, and I don't mean in video games, I mean real life dungeons and dominatrices. Dominatrices? Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, Paul, did you fall off the cliff one too many times?
No, I mean, the game punishes you for turning left. you turn left. Oh my God, there's an unbeatable bad guy right there. And then it's another game with a checkpoint. Like, you know, I can't even get into Dark Souls. But the game that just actually popped into my mind, I forgot about this game, was actually a game called Two Worlds. It's an RPG
Oh,
game.
yeah. I remember. Every time we see that game at GameStop, Paul's like, that game's the worst game ever.
Oh my God.
And I put probably 40 hours into this game. 40 hours. I even got fired from a job from this game. And I finished the game out of pure spite. Like, no, you are not gonna waste my money. I'm gonna finish you. And, I just, the idea of an RPG and just, I'm not even I can't even talk about this game because it's making me so mad. It's just, the ending was even worse than the game itself. I decided that after about 20 hours of it, 25, 30 hours of the stupid game, that's it. I'm just gonna power through it. I'm gonna play it all night long, and I'm gonna finish this game. And I overslept and got fired from a job, which made me hate the game even more, because I totally blamed it for sucking so bad. Because if it didn't suck, I probably would have gone to bed and made it to work. But because it sucked, and I just couldn't wait to take it back, but I had to finish it out of spite, I got fired. And that is probably the worst game. And this is another game that people are gonna. You guys are going to totally troll me on this, and I know, because it's one of the most beloved video games of the last 10 years.
I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to agree with you, but go for it.
Dead Redemption.
Yes! God, that game sucks!
Grand Theft Horse.
You know what, and it's funny because I'm glad that John is on, because I praised him for letting me borrow that game, because he was like, Kat, I know you don't like Dead Rising game, or not Dead Rising, but Grand Theft Auto games. He's like, but this game is completely different. He was like, it's the same thing as Grand Theft Auto, but not as, I guess you say violent, as stupid as Grand Theft Auto is. So he was like, try it out, see what you like it. I swear to you, I put like 20 hours into that damn game. 20 hours in that game. I got 2 freaking achievements. And I raided so many places and did so many things and went through the story. And even me and Anthony were talking about it at one time at work. And we were like, he's like, well, did you do this? Did you do that? I'm like, yes, I did that. I did all of these things. And I felt like I was getting nowhere in that game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that game has more endings than Lord of the Rings. I swear. And it just, oh my gosh. It was the most frustrating thing ever. You can play the entire game and get like 1 achievement.
Yeah!
Oh my gosh. It drives me absolutely nuts.
I mean, granted, there are people who love that type of game, and I totally will knock them for it. Because it's, you guys love those type of games. It's just that, I would rather be playing like, Skyrim or Oblivion or, Dragon Age or Mass Effect than play that game and feel like I'm going nowhere. At least in Mass Effect, I mean, I know Mass Effect 1 was kind of a drag to play, but at least I felt like I was getting somewhere, and there was story to it. I honestly felt like there was no story to it. But then again, I mean, it could have been at the time when I played the game. I don't know if I went back. I never went. I never can say, like, I played it for those 20 hours and then I gave up on it pretty much. So I don't know if now, if I went back, if it'd be different, but I don't think so.
No. And so, speaking of long waits and horrible, horrible things that drive you absolutely insane, Comic-Con open sales of tickets went on this week, and there were thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions even, who waited in a lottery waiting room only to get shut down and denied.
It was probably like the most record breaking that I've ever seen people try to get tickets. It was very sad when I went on to go help a friend of ours because when she was in the pre-sales, her mom actually put in she put in her password instead of her ID, her user ID, and ended up not getting tickets because she did that. Even though she got into the room, and I felt bad. So I logged on to try to help them out. But there was literally probably over like 100,000 people, maybe even more, probably almost like 150,000 people that were waiting in line and never got tickets. And they literally sold out in like an hour, which was crazy.
In between 60 and 90 minutes, they sold out of Comic-Con tickets. What? My gosh. This is the same issue I have with video games and movies, and Comic-Con is another example of things like this, is if something's not broken, don't change it. There's so many times where I play the first game of something, or watch the first movie, and it is awesome. It is perfect. And then you go through and play the next game, and they've completely changed everything. The controls, the menus, and it wasn't broken. And so you added another year onto your development just to do this. It's the same thing with movies. I don't care. Tony Stark doesn't need 43 suits. He doesn't. He really doesn't.
God, let's
leave the Mandarin out of this.
Oh my God,
okay.
let's leave him.
Spider-Man doesn't need a different costume every time. I mean,
he does.
No, he does not.
Yes, he does. And it has stretchier, it has to hug the hips a little more. They have to make it more appealing for the ladies.
Christopher Nolan came out with Batman Begins, and he was like, that costume was really weird. So we're gonna change it. And then he kept it for the next movie, which was perfect. You don't need a new costume every movie.
Which, by the way, Paul, I don't know if you heard the news about the director not doing the third movie.
Fourth movie.
Fourth movie.
Yeah, but that's if Spider-Man even lasts that long. It didn't the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw Venom in it. We could start all over again.
Oh gosh. Who would play Venom? No, never mind.
Don't even start.
Nope.
So, I mean, Comic-Con has done the same thing with, the last few years of getting tickets. You get there, you see your place in line, and you wait. And, if you're at, 250,000 in line, you're probably not gonna get tickets. And
unless you're special like me.
Yeah, unless you're hoping that, somebody who's at 63,000 says, no, I'm not gonna get tickets and leaves. But, it wasn't broke. Why? Why would they have to change it? I mean, granted, I got my tickets, so I don't know why.
Or maybe they want to test a different system. I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons why. I mean, like, think of it like when a game changes something that you disagree about completely, and then you like later figure out why they done it, and you're like, oh, okay, I can kind of see why they did it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't understand it. But some of us out there got our tickets. Both Kat and I got our tickets. P Mastery 9 Ty got his 4 days. Gus, you didn't get any, did you?
Here's the thing, and since we feel like we've left some censors out, but the fact that I have been getting some is actually going to tie me into getting tickets so that I get to go. So I will most likely be seeing you guys Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. So for those of you out there who actually weren't able to get Comic-Con tickets or didn't try to get Comic-Con tickets because it's a hassle, there is something out there that you guys can go to during Comic-Con week. It's called Nerd HQ. That's right. Nerd HQ. Nerd HQ is actually put on by Zachary Levi, who was Fandriel and Thor, and also Chuck, for those of you who watched Chuck, which is me. They put on panels, and instead of, a preview of the show and then 5 minutes of Q&A at the end, or here's what's going on during the season, we're going to talk because we're the directors, and for some reason people think we actually want to hear from them, or they did the makeup. They actually get the actors to come and do an hour of Q&A. And it's not on any particular topic, it's on absolutely anything. Go to YouTube, check out Nerd HQ panels, and they are some of the more entertaining panels you will ever see. The event is completely free, and it goes on the entire week of Comic-Con, and they have game demos there. They have everything that you can get at Comic-Con, just in a miniaturized version. And the reason why I bring this up is because some people, they need to be in San Diego during that week.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, we really do. I mean, I'm going to go visit Nerd HQ anyways while I'm at Comic-Con. But for those of you who didn't get in, this is a consolation prize, and it's a pretty good consolation prize.
Oh, yeah.
And part of the reason why I'm bringing this up is it's also a charity event. They raise money for Operation Smiles, which goes to, third world countries and fix children with cleft palates, which is apparently an epidemic. I don't know if you can catch it or something. I don't know, but it's a big deal. Cleft palates are bad. And so this is a foundation for those with cleft palates. I mean, last year, Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk, who played Walsh on Firefly, they did an hour-and-a-half panel where, in between questions, Nathan Fillion was actually auctioning off things from his house. He's like, I was walking around my house thinking what I can auction off, and I found this T-shirt that I got from this guy. So they signed it and they auction it off, and all that money goes to Operation Smiles. Is pretty awesome. And part of the reason why I'm bringing this up is also it costs a lot of money to actually do this, and so they're taking donations to put this on, and it's $5 to donate. You just go to nerdhq.com and go through Indiegogo, and you can donate for this, and it really is an awesome event. If you've never seen Nerd HQ, I mean, all you
even had Tom Huddleston there, and
he actually told Tom Huddleston, it was really funny because I was watching the thing. He goes, "Here's a text that I got from Zachary Levi," and it said, "Huddleston, I know you're coming to Comic-Con on a secret mission. Don't want to know what it is, but if you don't stop by Nerd HQ, I will personally punch you in the dick. You have been warned." And guys,
it's always good. Mm-hmm.
This is what's going to get you to donate is, last year it was hosted by, your favorite woman in the entire world, your nerd crush.
Felicia Day?
That's right.
Oh my god. Seriously, the things that,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Just think,
Felicia Day, I have a
if you
thing for redheads.
If you don't donate to Nerd HQ, to put this on at Comic-Con, you might never get to meet her.
No,
but
but
if you do
I'm
donate,
going to.
If you do donate, you could go there to Nerd HQ and and in fact, they throw parties after Comic-Con. You could go to one of the parties and meet her. And you know how you do at parties.
I want her to have my, to bear my children more than I want P-Master Tie 9 to bear my children. And yes, I am Dusk Gooseinator.
well, and what's cool about it too is, I mean, a lot of the years, the only reason why they're asking for help is because, a lot of them put a lot of money into it, to try to get it going, and they use their own, funds and everything like that, and they try to raise money for this, charity, and it's for a really good cause, and it's free, and why not?
Zachary Levi last year put like $1 million of his own money into this, and then a bunch of sponsors backed out. I know that anytime I've ever put my money into something, alright, let's say you're throwing a party, and you say, hey, I'll buy all the food, you guys bring the beer, and people show up for your party and they don't bring the beer. Has that ever happened to you? It happens to me all the time.
I don't know, every time I go to a party someone catches on fire.
Oh, yeah, that has happened before. Oh, that's another thing I learned from video games. If you catch fire, it just doesn't go out while you're battling. You have to roll around on the ground.
Or if you do a little barrel roll, you can't, you just can't stop, drop, and roll. Apparently, you can't run and jump into a lake of water where it's full of fairies that heal you to full heart container.
Apparently, you can't escape bees by jumping into water either. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I should have watched My Girl in 1991 or whatever. Wow, you guys are so young. You guys didn't watch My Girl?
Bro, I was 2 years old.
Oh my god.
You know what?
Anybody out there in the chat ever seen the movie My Girl with Macaulay Culkin and that one chick? And Dan Aykroyd, who was a mortician?
Seriously, no? Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, Culkin. But you know, honestly, if you guys have extra $5, put it in there, because I don't care if this guy, Zachary Levi, makes millions of dollars on movies. When you lose $1 million, it hurts. It really does. It hurts. So come on, be a cool guy.
I think someone who can afford to lose $1 million wouldn't really feel it that much.
Here's the thing: is you put $1 million in it and you lose it. I imagine just putting $1 million in anything, it hurts. I mean, how often do you hear celebrities are like, "I put $1 million into this foundation"? It's like, "Oh, donate $1,000."
Yeah, but if you have the million to put in,
but here's the thing: your money's tied up, dude. Your money's tied up. If you liquidate your assets, but okay, we're getting a financial talk.
Let's not. So basically, long story short, dude, even if you had like $30 million, you just gave one, you're at 29. That's an odd number. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is
American problems, first world problems.
So seriously though, for those
America
who are
is the first world.
Go to nerdhq.com, or nerdmachine.com. Go to the NerdHQ and just give $5. Tell them that the Everyday Nerd sent you, or tell them nothing. I don't care. But just go out there and donate. You know, we as gamers, as weird, you know, as us, those who enjoy the whole nerdom thing, we need to band together for a cause. Okay, and that cause can't just be to eliminate Saren. It should really be, you know...
To unite the clans.
Exactly. Unite the clans. Unite us. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go and watch that movie.
Yeah, and definitely, you know, if you're in San Diego during con, you know, stop by. I mean, it's free, guys.
It's a free. It's a mini-con.
It's a free event. Yeah.
Free. People like the word free.
Well, I mean, not like if it was something like, hey, you know, free use needles, or hey.
Oh God, you have such a wicked mind.
All right, and I'm going to pose this last question, kind of close us out.
Wicked.
What's a trend going on in video games right now that you just can't stand? You're like, this needs to stop right now. A trend in video games.
Oh my gosh.
I know. You know, I'll start it off because I'm kind of throwing this question at you guys without any prep time.
Everything
microtransactions need to stop.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I don't want to have to pay my cash after I've already bought a game, in order to level up. I'll give you an example. It's no secret, I really like the game Rise, Son of Rome. And shut up, Tony. I know you don't like it, but I did. I thought the game was beautiful design. I love lining up in phalanx. Granted, it's a game I'm only going to play one time, but I had a lot of fun playing it. In the game, if you don't get enough, you know, valor in order to level up and upgrade, you can purchase gold in order to do it with your own money. That needs to stop. It needs to stop now. I mean, you know, why? What?
Well, here's the thing. Oh, go ahead, Andy. No, I like you.
Not just microtransactions, but also games that are, per se, pay to win. You know, like, if I spend $5 on this game, I'll have all the best guns, and I'm like immediately like the best player.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you shouldn't have to spend your, exactly. You should not have to spend your money in order to be good at something. You know, you should rely on yourself. I mean, just because mommy and daddy are paying your bills doesn't mean you can use their credit card in order to become the greatest COD player ever because you bought a gun.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That is so true. Complete and utter, I can't even use these words live on the air, but it's infuriating.
I literally have an app for that.
I know you do. It needs to stop.
Yeah.
Please, video game companies, stop.
See,
and here's the thing. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No,
Yes.
Kat.
Well, see, and here's the thing, like purchasing guns or purchasing. I mean, you just finished purchasing a freaking expensive game. You just finished, you just put a lot of time into it. This whole pay to succeed thing, it's gotten ridiculous. And it's not even that. There are some games, there's a game I play, and you know what, I'm really into apps because I work 10 hours a day. So I love to have games on my phone. Amazing game, Brave Frontier, which is kind of like an RPG type of game. Now, or even Clash of Clans for those of you who are, or kind of into that, type of game. You're playing this game where, like you said, you want more, you want fast, you want to be the best, and you want to do it quick. Nobody wants to say, no one wants to be the freaking tortoise and just be like, oh, it's okay. Slow and steady, I'm gonna win the race. No, you want to be the freaking hare on steroids who's sitting there and is far ahead, and then at some point you probably crash because, you're calming down from your high, but you still want to get to the top really quick. It's not fair that I have to, and it's not even a fair thing like, oh, for $3 you move up. No. It's like, hey, for $19.99 you can, get 3 days progress done right now.
Yep.
$19.99. But isn't that like a testament to society today that like if you have the most money you're gonna succeed when us poor people have to work hard for what we get?
Yep. Us poor people have to wait 6.5 hours for our phone to go off to say, hey, it's done, it's upgraded. Go ahead.
Do you actually set it?
That's kind of the definition of like our entire country though. Like everything has to be done like now, immediately. Like I want it now.
Instant gratification.
If I can get it, I want it now,
And you would think that game apps on your phone would alleviate some of the anger at the DMV. It doesn't.
No. As a matter of fact, you're the one who's now taking it out on the DMV guy.
Because you lost that Flappy Bird.
Oh God, that game.
Okay, alright.
Okay.
Alright.
Cat Basket. Download Cat Basket, you guys.
Does anybody else have a trend in video games that you just feel needs to stop?
Yes!
Go ahead, Kat.
Yes!
Don't yell at me.
Every single game does not need a multiplayer.
Okay.
God!
Just
I don't know how many times I've said that. I don't know how many times I have said over and over and over again, okay, Batman Origins did not need a multiplayer.
Did it have a multiplayer?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did. Arkham City totally.
And it probably would have been better if they didn't have a multiplayer. Far Cry didn't need a multiplayer. Tomb Raider didn't need a multiplayer. Hey, guess what, people who made Tomb Raider? Your game probably would have never failed if you didn't pay another company to make a stupid multiplayer.
Kat, you're getting upset. I can hear it in your voice.
And for our listeners, she does talk to him like this at home.
Yes.
I do not.
Kat,
That's just
Kat,
me.
It's okay. It's okay. Nobody's
Stop.
mad at you. Nobody's mad at you. Just look at the flowers.
You know what? No, I am mad. That's what I am.
You're not gonna calm me down and try to shut up the little people.
But in all honesty, it's like, we don't need a multiplayer, guys. We really don't need a multiplayer. I get that everyone wants to be connected in some way or another, but it just seems like video game companies are wasting their time making a multiplayer out of the game when it's not even necessary, okay? It really isn't necessary at all. So it just,
You know what?
it just,
and on that note is something that's I think it was. Yes, it was P Mastery 9, Ty. Sorry, I know you like to be called Ty. But he said on the chat is something I completely agree with, which is really an odd sensation for me that Ty and I agree on something. Cause it's usually PlayStation, Xbox, is that day one DLC needs to stop. If you're not, you need to be finished with, alright, there's something called due dates, okay? Due dates. We all have them.
Oh, yeah.
Gus, you're at work. They say, I want this on my desk by this time. Can you put out half a report and then give them the next page the next day or that day later on? No, you get fired. Okay? Due dates. Yeah, you get due dates, alright? If you're not done with your product by the day it's released, come on.
Oh, yeah.
And you know,
Especially
and
when you have to pay for it.
Yeah, and I'm
it's an
all
integral part of the
for,
story. Well,
I'm all for, like, games that are like huge content games, you know what I mean? Like, I'm all for them pushing back the date to get it right, or to test it, or to make sure that it works
BioShock
correctly.
Infinite.
Oh God, I'm okay with it. As long as I had that game reserved for 3 freaking years, by the way, BioShock Infinite.
In that time
But
we reserved, it was 2 years. But in
Oh,
that
please,
time,
StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2.
yeah, well,
For those-
StarCraft,
in
yeah.
that time of having that game reserved, we got engaged and married.
Yeah, it was a long time, but I was okay with them pushing it back,
It
but
was good.
it was good. It was a good game, but in all honesty, like, if you're gonna give us DLC, at least make it, I agree that DLC, like, it's stupid. Like, we shouldn't have to pay for DLC, but in all honesty, if it's a large chunk of DLC, like, it's gonna give me 8 hours of gameplay, maybe even more than that, then I'm okay for it.
And lastly, on that note, is season passes need to stop.
Yes!
Okay? Season passes need to stop. They do.
It's rape you for your money. That's what they do.
But they yell surprise, so it's not rape. Season passes. I mean, and here's the thing is, if somebody tells me that I'm gonna get extra stuff with a season pass, and it's gonna be cheaper, I totally buy it. Every time. Every time. I don't know why. I can't stop myself. I just can't. Gus?
Yep.
Any thoughts?
Yep. No, I believe I am 100%. 100%.
Here, I'll give you a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys will probably rage at this. I don't actually know if it's still like live or a thing, but advertisements in games that you've already purchased. You know, like you're at home playing Call of Duty and there's like a Dorito ad, like right next to your like game menu.
Play Madden?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that still in?
Brought to you by
Yeah, that is bull crap. Like,
Well,
what
I
the
know that
hell?
happens a lot with computer games. It's just annoying. More so than Xbox, but yeah, it still does.
And you know, okay, and just to kind of close it up, there is one thing on both PlayStation and Xbox that just kind of bugs me, is when somebody else jumps on, and like the little thing like this person is playing a game now, pops up on your screen, like right in the middle of a battle. It's really distracting.
It is.
Especially
Dead
when you're trying to
Rising.
read.
Good example.
Especially when you're trying to read what's happening on the screen. You know? Like you're trying to respond, like you're playing, you know, Dragon Age or Mass Effect and you're trying to respond, but that little bubble is right there in front of what you want to say, and then you end up saying something that you didn't want to say because you couldn't read it, and then you feel stupid and you have to reload.
I like what Ty said. Yeah, season passes need to look at the flowers.
Just look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. God, I'm traumatized from that episode. I really am.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Okay. That's a whole different podcast right there. So before we close out, do you guys have anything else you want to add? Kat, I know you've been waiting all night to add with this one phrase.
Everything is awesome! That's awesome.
Okay. Andy, anything to add?
Well, it's awesome.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I want you
All
guys to
right.
think of this time as
It's
like
awesome. Screw you guys.
Jerry Springer's final thought. Yeah, what? Gus, any final thoughts?
You know, I just want to go ahead and add on, you know, to what you said. I mean, this offer that they have, you know, at Comic-Con for those of you who didn't get your tickets. I mean, also, as far as supporting charity, nobody's too good to, like, you know, not support charity. There's so many other ways that you can get involved. I mean, there's so much to do in San Diego around Comic-Con time. Don't get discouraged just because you didn't get your tickets. Don't get discouraged. You still, I mean, all of downtown is turned into one gigantic con. You're just not in the hive. You're in the little other, you know, nests that are just around it. So come enjoy it. If you see any of us, give us a hug. If it's me, give me a little kiss on the neck. I kind of like that. But, you know, thank you all for listening. Thank you for your support. I love you guys. And, let's go ahead and listen to Paul's final thoughts.
Comic-Con is a con.
No, it's not. You shut your mouth, or you're gonna get muted.
What?
You know, here's the thing: is video games are amazing. They really, really are. They transport us to a world in which we wish we could live. I'm an everyday guy. I'm an average person. I don't have anything spectacular or amazing in my life that I do other than, hanging out with my wife. Which for me is amazing, but it's just an everyday average life. And video games are an opportunity to be something that you're not. And it's fun. It's not, I'm not saying like you're a serial killer in a game, you should be a serial killer in real life. What I'm saying is I am never going to command an army to battle the archdemon. I am never going to God, I hope not. I'm never going to have to survive in a wasteland full of zombies. But for an hour or two, or 18 a day, if you're Andy, you can be.
You can also pretend to be a girl and get free stuff.
Yeah, Andy can pretend to be a girl for 18 hours a day. And if he threw all the money that he had spent on video games in Diablo and WoW, he probably could make that a reality.
But twice over.
Yeah, right. And it makes me really sad that that we are being taken advantage of, and because we love it, because we love to transport ourselves into a different reality, a different realm, a different mindset, something away from our lives, for just a moment, that we get taken advantage of. And,
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, a lot of these games could release complete garbage, but people would still buy them.
Still buy them. I mean, people bought Halo Reach.
No, nobody bought Halo Reach.
Taken. And you know what? For once, we can be superheroes. We can be the leaders of a charge. All we have to do is give $5. And that's all it takes. For once, we can throw our money into something that matters. That $5 that we were going to spend on that stupid microtransaction in order to get a few more bucks so we can build a tower on Star Wars.
It could be a double cheeseburger at McDonald's.
We can save children smile. And we can be a hero. And the best heroes don't have names. When you're done playing Dragon Age, all you're known as the hero of Ferelden. When you beat Dragon Age 2, you are the champion of Kirkwall. When you beat Mass Effect, you are the shepherd. Why can't we just be a nameless hero in the crowd? $5 is all it takes. So go to Nerd HQ. Go to nerdmachine.com. Donate $5. Tell them that the Everyday Nerd sent you. And make a child smile instead of, killing it because it's a zombie.
Dude, we should totally make gaming a religion. Who's with me?
I don't think I've ever supported anything that has ever come out of your mouth.
That's why I keep continuing to talk, because hopefully one day something will stick.
And you always stick.
I'm still hoping for world domination.
And just so everyone knows, I did donate. I actually did donate. I'm not just saying it so I can get everyone else to. I did donate. I don't have a lot of money. I donated $25 to them just last week. And it wasn't that hard. And I'll probably donate another $25 when I get paid again, because I really want them there and I really want to raise money for this foundation. So, with that being said, thank you all for listening. Keep on playing video games, my friends.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome when you look at the flowers.
Oh my.
See, I thought you had forgotten about that beep, and it's like...
It broke. The app actually just broke. And it's still beeping. It's in a perpetual beep, and it won't stop.
Well, maybe you should turn off the ad off of it.
I can't. I had to break my phone. Oh my god, there goes my phone.
Good night, everybody. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week, 8:30 Monday. The Everyday Nerd. Twitter.
Oh my god, it's still going.
Good night, everyone.
Ended.
Thanks for
Oh my god. It won't stop. It just won't stop.
Batteries.
It won't stop.